I kid you not when I say there is never a dull day doing this stuff. And last week we had a story about a former Tennessee head coach potentially running for a seat in the U.S. Senate. And that's a pretty wild story. This next story that I'm about to get into is maybe even a little wilder than that. Um, Former Tennessee football walk-on Grant Frerking, former wide receiver here at Tennessee, uh, is in some pretty big legal trouble for scamming and being a con artist to former clients of his straw business that he owned when he was living in Atlanta as a teenager. And these have followed him after his time at Tennessee and into his professional life, which is very unfortunate to hear. And there are a lot of details that have emerged from this. I think the Burnerverse first got hold of this, as you might imagine, but I believe it was Wednesday night when things really started to ramp up. And I do want to shout out Adam Sparks, Mike Wilson, and Tyler Whetstone of Knox News Sentinel for their reporting on this story, because they did a really good job looking into this stuff, and it's really wild. It's really, really wild that he's accumulated all of these troubles in just over the span of a few years, but it's all just now coming out. So let's just get into it. According to Knox News Sentinel last week, Frerking was ordered by a Davidson County judge to vacate 2 Gulch apartments that he owed a combined $16,000 on. It's 2 separate apartments we're talking about in a very trendy, kind of high-class version of Nashville, or area of Nashville, I should say. And he apparently was an additional $2,500 in debt on a limo service in which he was supposed to pay $75 an hour for in 2023. Did not follow through on that payment, by the way. And in order to finance some of these things, he was asking for upfront payments from clients at his straw business, Metro Straw, which is in Atlanta, and he never returned the product for them. So these people all got scammed, a couple hundreds of dollars each with this stuff, which is all not good. And he demanded the upfront payments, but was confronted over the lack of product. And apparently he disappeared, according to the various sources from this article. And the money was used to finance nice alumni and donor dinners here in Nashville, which is pretty wild that he was financing all of that and, essentially trying to live the life of a millionaire when he did not have the funds to do so. But it gets even crazier. Did you, watching this, know that you can rent out Neyland Stadium for a birthday party? Because that's what Grant Frerking did in 2023.
No, but I would love to do that.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I don't have the money for it, though. I don't have the money to rent out Neyland Stadium for a dinner and a party. But yes, he did that, and he was using the straw money to finance it. So you have that detail, which is just seriously crazy that you can anybody would have the idea of renting out an SEC football stadium for a party. And it's not just the Pine Straw clients that he has conned here. Former Tennessee football players, one of which we know to be Todd Kelly Jr., has been scammed over fraudulent football tickets. Friends of his girlfriend have been scammed over fraudulent CMA tickets, which that is, of course, as recently as last month. So this has been going on for a prolonged period, not just the last couple of weeks when all this stuff is developed. And he used this money to attain donor status at Tennessee as well. And he was kind of heralded as this guy that you look to for NIL business ventures when it first got big in 2021. And of course, it earned him an appearance on the Feinbaum show that very same season. And that leads me to my next point. He was serving at Tennessee in like an advisory consultant role in the football program, kind of overseeing off-field matters for Josh Heupel. And while doing this, he was also an employee at On3 Sports in Nashville. And he repeatedly denied to Shannon Terry and all the higher-ups at On3 that he had any involvement in the Tennessee football program. And, Shannon Terry's official statement said that he lied to them and that there is an investigation ongoing into all this stuff. I think the truth may be that it could have known about this. On3 very well could have known about this, because here's the thing. If Pete Nakos knows everything about everyone in college athletics, there's no way they didn't know Grant Frerking was doing this stuff. And it also makes you wonder, like, is he a guy that is, maybe delivering some of these scoops to On3? Maybe that's why On3 seems to know literally everything about everyone in the program before some of the other people that cover Tennessee athletics do. And again, none of this stuff is confirmed, but it would all make sense if you start to put it together. You could put the Always Sunny meme on here right now, just all the conspiracy theories we're throwing out there. But yeah, it's wild. It's all very crazy that this happened with a guy that was seemingly in a position of power. Although I think some of us probably should have read the signs when we saw them initially, but it's just now coming out. And I hate it for all the people involved in it, except for Grant, obviously, because he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and I just want to know, like, what was his end goal with all of this? Like, it seemed like he was just living the high life for the sake of living up the high life. But I mean, surely he had to have known that he was digging himself a grave. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I mean, it would be extremely stressful to me to borrow money from all these different people, especially your teammates too, man. Like your teammates, and just having so many people that you owe money to, and it just seems extremely stressful. I don't know why anyone would want to put themselves through anything like that. And the unfortunate part about this situation is, from everything that I've read, he was considered to be a good teammate and a good leader on the team. And I mean, he was, I think he was had an academic honor roll too. I mean, he was a walk-on, so you would assume that he was a hard worker to get to that point. It's just crazy that he's done all of these things financially. I just really don't know what drives a person to go down that route. And hopefully, everyone that got scammed, like, they can receive some sort of compensation. I don't know how you'd go about that, but I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy situation, and I'm just hoping that this doesn't become a problem for the university, because I know they, like, said he wasn't fully involved in everything like that. But I mean, the last thing Tennessee needs is more eyes on them and more investigations, after Tennessee's had to deal with that so much in the past, like with the Jeremy Pruitt situation and everything that happened with that. I mean, I think the last thing that Tennessee fans or the university wants is for any more eyes to be going around investigating and snooping around. So, I mean, of course, like, we'll keep you all updated as, like, this news, as more news comes out. But it's interesting, and it seems like he's pissed a lot of people off too. I mean, I'm reading this quote right now that some guy named Doug Proctor said, called Grant Frerking a lying, unscrupulous SOB.
Yes.
In one of his quotes.
Yeah. Most unscrupulous liar was, according to one Yelp review. I don't know if that was Doug or not. But again, I think this is a story that could have more details to it here. in the coming weeks or months potentially. But I don't think Tennessee itself gets in trouble for this, especially just with the fact that it wanted to go ahead and disassociate with Grant Frerking. I think that was the smart thing to do. But I do wonder, just because he's been looked at as this guy who is, again, a guy that is a model for how to do NIL by athletes over the course of the last few years, in which it's become a thing and it's become popular in college athletics. On3 has been putting out all these NIL valuations of players. I don't know if he had any kind of hand in that or what, but that's a troubling sign for, uh, just guys that think they are worth a lot more than they are at this level. Um, and then too, just looking at it from a Tennessee side, like, was a portion of your NIL collective based on scammed pine straw money. Um, Again, that has not been confirmed, but we do know that he achieved donor status while working in his advisory consulting role with the university. So, again, that is very much a possibility. Maybe there was some mismanagement on the NIL front just because he was kind of asked to oversee some of that. And it does worry you a little bit if that is, in fact, what happened. Again, none of this is confirmed, but you start to connect the dots, and it looks like it is at the very least a possibility that something like that happened.
Yeah, and I think it's a little concerning too that a scam artist was able to, be associated with the University of Tennessee. I mean, I'm sure, like, like with him being a former player and everything, and like I've read that people like really seemed to like him and everything and thought that he was a good person or at least a good teammate. Like it's just kind of crazy that he was able to like fool so many people. And I'm just hoping that something like this doesn't happen to Tennessee ever again, or have anyone associated to the university like him. But I mean, I'm sure Tennessee's going to learn their lesson from this and figure out who and who not to trust. But it's just quite crazy that all of this is happening. I mean, I don't I'm just still struggling to see what his motive was for all of this. Like just knowing that eventually you're going to get caught. I mean, I guess just enjoy like a couple of good years living on top and then just face the consequences later. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's going to be owing lots of people money. And I don't know if they've said anything about prison time or anything like that. But I mean,
Oh, hold on. Now that you say
no,
that, there are two different Georgia police departments that are on his tail, that are looking for him just over this fraudulent money. I don't know if I've written here in my notes or not, but there were a couple more details that emerged just from the story. Um, I don't know which police departments exactly it was, but it's two in the Georgia area. I want to say Roswell, and then maybe one other. But yes, they are after him in Georgia. I believe last thing they heard about his whereabouts, he was somewhere in Texas with his family. But that's what we know in that situation. And to answer your question on the motives, I think it was just to try and enjoy some time living the high life, because, and not that I saw him all the time in college, but social media, it can be pretty revealing depending on how you use it. And Grant was a guy that, he's always trying to pose with the star players of the Tennessee football team. Not to say that they weren't good friends off the field, but he's always been a little bit of a clout chaser, and wants to have some involvement in that stuff. And I think there were signs. Again, we just kind of ignored them. But to answer your question on the motive, This is definitely a guy that, wanted to be a millionaire, but did not have millionaire funds, as opposed to what we had been told by The Athletic in 2018 when they put that piece out about him on his straw business that he ran as a teenager.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot to take in with this situation. So like so they are currently looking for him, so they don't have him in custody right now.
No, and I don't know if what any of that stuff looks like for him going forward, but I do know uh, that they are searching for him actively. You got two different police departments that are searching for him, and because he's conned a lot of people out of some money here recently. Not just with his straw business, but then also in the CMA, the CMA tickets and the football tickets. Okay, so this was June 12th. Police in Georgia investigating ex-Tennessee football player Grant Frerking for potential theft. That's from Adam Sparks. No new details have emerged since then. So I don't know if this is potential theft. It seems pretty probable to me that you've got 3 or 4 different suspects, or not suspects, victims, and calling attention to the fact that they may have been conned out of hundreds of dollars over undelivered pine straw.
And I imagine this situation that he's put himself in. I mean, there's a lot of unhappy people, and I don't I don't know if he's gonna be able to charm the court whenever he eventually has to go there. I mean, I imagine that there's going to be a lot of angry, upset people, and I don't think anyone's going to really have sympathy for him. So, I mean, it's like, was it all worth it? Like, was it all worth it to do all of this, to like burn all these bridges with people that you were probably close with, to get into legal troubles, to act like someone that you're not? I mean, I can't wrap my mind around like wanting that much stress in my life. Like, I just don't think what he received was really worth it for like everything that he had to do. I mean, it's just a sad situation, and I just really hope that everyone that was involved, all the people that got scammed, I hope that they can get some kind of reassurance from this whole situation, and hopefully he faces the proper punishments. I mean, regardless of him being a former Tennessee player or not, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter if you played college football or if you played in the NFL or anything like that. Like, we just want to see more good people in the world. So, I mean, I don't have any sympathy for him. And, like I said, let's just wait and see how it goes. And hopefully everyone can be happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, note to future Tennessee football walk-ons: be like Will Brooks, not Grant Frerking. That's my message for the day. Be the guy that tries to get on the field, and I think he played a grand total of like 6 plays here, Grant Frerking, and that's over, or maybe more than that, maybe like 9 plays in 6 seasons, and they kind of just put him in there in the Mizzou game and 22 just to be like, hey, here you go. You've been a good teammate for us, but turns out maybe he wasn't that good of a teammate.
Yeah, and I would imagine people aren't gonna trust him moving forward. I mean, anyone that knows what he's done, or like just everything with that situation. I mean, it's gonna be hard to trust a man like that again, and especially not with your money. That's for certain.